Good evening everybody and welcome to today's post-market analysis video. Today was a rather quiet day. Most of the action actually occurred before we even opened. In other words, we had a gap and go kind of day. So we gapped up and that was most of the move in the SPY and in the markets. And then after that there was a slow grind towards the end of the day, and ultimately we did close at the highs of the day, which was again a bullish signal. That's what we were expecting. We've been seeing these minor clues in the markets every single day for this week that we were going to grind higher and higher, and ultimately that's what we got. Now I must say one thing though, and again I've been talking about this for a while. The volume just wasn't there. So yes, we did go higher, and yes, we did close above this 207.45 level. Therefore, we confirmed above, and therefore we are now in bullish mode. However, it's all on low volume. And again, a lot of this has to do with the fact that on Monday, most of the markets are going to be closed because of the holiday. So a lot of the participants aren't even in the market. And we know that during the volatile days there's been a lot of distribution, and the key players who are distributing the markets to us retail traders are just not there. So the volume is light, and so it's mostly the amateurs that bought this market. People who thought, well, finally there we go, we're breaking up to all-time highs, and they bought here. Okay, don't do that. I hope you're not going to do that. But that's the truth. That's what happened. And so the volume was light. So that's one of the problems with the market, that yes, we did confirm above the 207.45, and now we're within reach to that all-time high. And I can imagine tomorrow probably is going to be another light volume day, and more people are going to buy up. We're going to hit the all-time highs, and we all know what the headline is going to be for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. It's going to be, we hit all-time highs, the economy is wonderful, buy, 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 spend money, go out there and put yourself in debt. Okay, that's how it is. I mean, most of us don't agree with that, but we trade the markets and what they give us. If they tell us to be bullish, we're bullish. If they tell us to be bearish, we're bearish. So no emotion there whatsoever. I'm just saying, based on the predictability of media and how it treats the market when it's in situations like these, I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow they pump the markets all morning and talk about how great the economy is and all these things. Bottom line, we actually got a jobs number, actually the unemployment claims number this morning, and it was a rather negative number. And for the markets, that's a positive, because it means that in that case the Fed may delay raising interest rates. And that's why we had that gap up in the morning, because of higher unemployment claims. So that's just how the market works. It's all about how much money can be pumped into the economy at low cost. And so when you have news like that, then you can pretty much expect the markets to go higher. And it seems that the situation with Greece has subsided, at least until Monday from my understanding, but I'm a little bit skeptical when it comes to the situation in Greece. The media have been a little bit uncertain in how they're reporting it, but either way, we're here to trade the charts and not really pay attention to the media. And speaking of trading the charts, we're going to do two things in this video. One of them, of course, as we do, we want to review our pre-market report and see how well or poorly we did. And another thing is I want to make a comparison to last week in the markets. So let's see how well we did as far as scalping. So we did gap really high, and so therefore from the moment we opened, we knew that we were probably going to take out the 207.45 level and confirm. So immediately at the open, we knew that there would be a bullish signal. And then as we rallied higher, that part was even further confirmed. We didn't go down or anything like that. And as far as support, a lot of those we immediately gapped above, and therefore support really wasn't support anymore, right? Because we gapped up. And then resistance, there were a couple of levels that were important. For example, the 207.45 level, not the 207.45, excuse me, the $208 level. And so that's essentially what we went into first. When we opened, we had to sell a little bit and then reload and gained some momentum again. Next level we got into, as far as resistance, 208.41, and we got to the 208.45 level. Well, a little bit further, but close enough for a scalp. And then the 208.96, as you can see. How far did we go? It seems that if you scalped that, you would have made a little bit of money. But I usually, when you have rallies like these, you don't really want to trade the markets the last 30 minutes, because that usually just means that there's going to be a lot of shorts that are going to start to get squeezed into the end of the day. So I wouldn't short that. But there were some other key levels. I think the 208.41 was a really good level, so that was okay. But you know, when you have a market like that, scalping isn't really that great, because most of the move has been made here. So you know, what are you gonna scalp? But overall, not a bad day. So in terms of that, we did okay. But what I want to do is I want to show you the markets in the last few weeks. And when I show you that, and you think about all the problems that have been going on with Greece, all these news out there, all these sudden things going on in the morning with earnings and whatnot, you're gonna laugh when you see this, honestly, because I just found this today. I usually take time to review some of the previous days, so I haven't had a lot of time for this, but I want to bring in an image I just put together. Now bear in mind, it's not going to be the best image because I just have it in Photoshop. But here are the last 2 weeks of trading, and I put the actual days of the week together. So this week is on top, last week is at the bottom. Just if you think about all the things that transpired in the media, everything that happened in the last 2 weeks, you know, this just shows you shouldn't pay attention to the media. Why? Look at today, Thursday, and last Thursday. Same identical day. Even where the moving averages are, even the shape of the moving averages, same thing, right? So what did they do? Gap the morning up in the morning. Then we rallied a little bit up for a couple of candles. Base sideways a little bit, even to the minute right here. And then we sort of floated up into the rest of the day. Very similar days, right? If you look at Wednesday, what happened Wednesday? We had a gap down on both days into the 20 moving average, which is this orange line. Then a little bit of a rally. Then we gave it back into the 20 moving average. Then we came again into that higher range. Here we broke out. Here we based sideways again, and then we sold off again, 3-4 candles down, and then we came back, and then rallied until about 3:30 in the afternoon, and the last 3 candles we gave it back. Same thing. Tuesday, what happened? Huge gap up on both days. Then we based sideways into the 20 moving average, again the orange line, and then we had this period where we had positive, where we went up, we went positive. Here we went up, had a little bit of a sideways consolidation for a bullish move. Same thing, a little bit of sideways consolidation into the 50 moving average, and we were off to the races into the rest of the day. Monday was a little bit of a different day, wasn't it? But nonetheless, overall the moves were similar. Okay, so we went down into the morning, then we had a little bit of a rally up. Again, not very similar, but the moves are similar as far as the direction goes. And then the rest of the afternoon we went down lower, and then here you had a little bit of a rally, whereas here you had a huge rally, right? And then on Fridays, what happened? Again, a little bit different, but the moves are the same. Okay, you had a move up, then you gave it back, and then you had this final pop and you gave it back again, right? It's just that here you did it twice and you gave it back. But overall, especially with Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we had a very similar market. Whereas Friday and Monday, okay, the moves were somewhat similar, but the direction was very similar, at least when you look at these small sections, these small time frames. But I want to stress that Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday were very similar. And so my question is this going to continue into next week or even into Friday? And again, it's a little bit difficult to gauge because Monday we kind of have a holiday coming up, and so it makes me wonder what that is going to do. But overall, we're getting some of that similarity back, and actually this is normal, so this is not something that you should be surprised about. It's just that I haven't had the time to look at it in recent weeks. I've been a little bit too busy. But overall, it seems that the volatility is subsiding. So notice if you compare this last Friday and this Monday to the week before that, you will notice how we're not seeing these big swings anymore, right? And then finally, it seems from last Tuesday, we've had the volatility subsiding, right? Yes, we're having gap downs and gap ups in the morning, but overall, the action intraday is becoming more and more subdued. And so now what I want to see is I want to see that continued upside to the all-time high, okay? And then once we do that, then we have to reassess and see what's going to happen. Again, on the S&P cash, my level is 2140, and again, this is not too far. You know, when you think about even the all-time high, I mean, that could have happened today. And then the 2140 level, very possible also tomorrow. Now, I will say this. Usually Fridays are very how should I say, they're big sort of non-event days, so not much happens on Fridays. You usually have sort of a small little fade into the rest of the day, and we tend to close positive, you know, so that's what usually happens. But again, remember we were talking about Fridays, how volatile Fridays have been, because especially in the afternoon, because nobody wants to hold into the weekend. And so my question now is whether Thursdays might be becoming our Fridays. And I know it's a silly question to ask, but notice how these Thursdays are these sort of gap up and then you kind of fade into the rest of the day. This is what you usually see on a Friday. And so I expect volatility to continue. We may not be in that kind of time frame right now, but again, don't be surprised if next week we have another country telling us that they're not going to pay off their debt. So this is just starting, this volatility. I expect it for the rest of the year. And I just want to kind of pose this question: with this volatility coming into the markets, could it be that Fridays now becomes our Thursday? In other words, Thursdays are becoming these subdued kind of positive days, and then Friday, every once in a while, we kind of have this panic selling, and so people are not going to want to hold into Friday. So we'll see as time goes by, and tomorrow it's a big question. So tomorrow the question is, if there's no news, if nothing really pops out in terms of economic problems out there, then are we going to have another positive day? And then, of course, low volume is going to help that. Or are we going to get this fear all of a sudden, and yet again, people start selling into the rest of the day? And of course, if we get into the all-time high tomorrow, the question is, are people going to sell? Okay, again, because we are into, you know, an all-time high, and therefore that's going to create selling pressure. Or is there going to be somebody, and I'm going to use the word somebody in quotation marks, is there going to be somebody who will want to push the market higher into the weekend so that we get these great headlines that we hit yet another all-time high. So that's just something to ponder. And that's all I have for this video today. I'm not going to go into anything else. I just wanted to show you this. Now keep in mind, look at these sort of repetitive cycles, and we'll see if we get some sort of continuation. And it will also be interesting once we get volatility back. Of course, any of this repetitiveness is going to be difficult to maintain. So let's keep it up, and let's watch those charts. And I'm very excited to see what kind of day we're going to have tomorrow and how that's going to play out into next week.